2011 Fukushima nuclear accident. 11,000 people used to live here. Today, much of it still looks like a horror movie set. In 2019, the government declared that parts of the town were considered safe for residents to return. Around 800 now reside in this area. Most are temporary residents who came to Okuma to help with the decommissioning of the damaged Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant. About 300 are former residents who returned to Okuma recently, like 23-year-old Makiko Sato. Makiko was 13 when she was evacuated from Okuma after the triple disaster 10 years ago. She returned to Okuma last year after her budding theater career in Tokyo came to a dead end because of COVID-19. She has lived in a government-sponsored house since returning to Okuma. She also found a job with the local government.
まちづくり公社っていう、町民の方と役場の方の中間ぐらいにいる立場なので、今はもう楽しめているその状況も明日仕事に行くの楽しみだなとかあんまり。
Coming back to Okuma has triggered a sense of mission in her for the town.
奥間に13年間しかもともと住んでなかったから知らないことの方が多いですし、もっと奥間を知っていかなきゃいけないなって思いますし、さらに新しい大熊を作っていく世代だと思うので、そこは意識していこうかなって思ってます。
Makiko has settled in well in her new home. But Okuma Mayor Jun Yoshida said he cannot paint a future for Okuma yet.
この赤いところが、じゃあここは除染をいつやるんだとか、いつから例えば住むことができるんだとかっていうことは全く経営学の立っていないところがこの赤いところなんです。こういう大きく今3つですかね分けられてます。こっちのグリーンのところは中間貯蔵施設ですので、こちらは人間が住むってことはそもそもありえないところですのでね。
He said for areas that have been decontaminated, there have been efforts to repopulate them, although the progress has been slow.
特定復興再生拠点っていう860ヘクタールあるんですけど、そこを位置づけたところは除染をしてインフラも整備してということで、来年の春解除を目指している場所です。この黄色いところは。
This is the yellow area the mayor referred to. Ahead of the lifting of its no entry zone status next year, a new train station was recently opened in the area. Ono train station reopened in 2020, but right in front of the train station are homes surrounded by barricades. Hardly anyone uses this train station, although the commuter express train stops here. It will be a long time before a new future for the town arrives. Michio Ishida, CNA, Okuma Town, Fukushima.
An Australian court says the country's environment minister has an obligation to children to consider the harm caused by climate change. The environment minister has to do so when deciding whether to approve the expansion of a new coal mine. The ruling was in response to a bid by 8 teenagers to force the federal government to ban the mine's expansion in New South Wales. The judge rejected the application but noted the amount of carbon dioxide that would be released into the atmosphere if the mines were allowed to expand.
100 million tonnes of CO2 attributable to the burning of coal from the extension project is likely to cause a tiny but measurable increase to global average surface temperatures.
Legal experts say comments by the judge opened the door for future lawsuits against other companies. The young activists also believe the judgment is a sign of real change.
Today's judgment is both thrilling and deeply relieving. The judge has recognised that the minister has a duty to take reasonable care not to cause us injury resulting from climate change. The court did not order an injunction stopping the mine, but it's not over yet. There will be further submissions on what the duty of care means for the minister's decision and the mine.
Singapore's water agency PUB will deploy autonomous drones to patrol 6 reservoirs. They will observe water quality and monitor water activities such as fishing and paddling. It's expected to free up 5,000 man-hours a year. Taking off from a pod, this drone at Marina is one of the first 2 that will start work from the end of this month. The other will be at MacRitchie. Each weighs up to 17 kilos and can fly up to 60 meters high. From the control hub, 1 pilot can monitor and control up to 4 drones. The drones can analyze videos in near real time. They trigger alerts when they detect activities such as illegal fishing. They can also sense kayaks in and outside of permitted zones, and they study water quality and identify aquatic plant overgrowth. PUB says no personal data like facial recognition will be collected. 4 more drones will be rolled out at Serangoon, Kranji, Lower Seletar and Lower Peirce later this year. PUB is tapping on ST Engineering's proprietary drone operating system. He upended everything the world knew about black holes and defied doctors' predictions by living another 55 years before his death.
Being on the ventilator has not curbed my lifestyle.
Professor Stephen Hawking is probably one of the most celebrated scientists in modern times. Now, some of his most prized papers and belongings will be on display. His office will be reconstructed in the British Science Museum next year. Selected items, including his wheelchair, will be on display. Cambridge University will be acquiring his scientific papers and journals, plus childhood letters and early, never-before-seen drafts. The university library hopes to catalogue and digitize all 50 boxes of the documents and make them accessible to anyone in the world.
My father would be so pleased, and I think maybe at the same time just a tiny bit overwhelmed that he was going to form part of the story of history of science, that he was going to be alongside the great scientists, the people whose work he really admired.
That is Asia Now for this hour. Your headlines anytime at cna.asia, Facebook, YouTube and Twitter. Bye-bye.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
They treat me like a slave.
तो एक के चलती हजारों आदमी भूखे मर जाते हैं।
मैं तो सोचता था कि मैं कहीं मम्मी को मैं बहुत बोलता रहा, मम्मी मुझे एक कुछ अच्छा पॉइजन दे दो कि मैं मर जाऊं।
Oh my God, they've been blasting the wrecks.
A brand new season of Undercover Asia.
Have fun while breaking a sweat on your next visit to Gangnam. Enjoy the weightlessness of bungee fitness, or learn the health benefits of pole dancing. So don't miss the opportunity to feel the burn with the latest workout trends in Korea. Gangnam Insiders Picks, Sunday on CNA. This program is brought to you by